5 things HVAC manufacturers do not tell you. They range from all sorts of different things, but these 5 points hopefully will give you a bit more clarity and a few secrets which I've picked up along the way. Point number 1, available stock. Damn, we went through COVID a few years back and that hasn't changed to this very day. I'm telling you now, if you order something until it is in front of you, do not think you're getting it. This ranges from small boxes, small units, to big units, big VRVs, big chillers. I'm telling you now, the excuses we have had through the years from rebels in the sea and hurricanes and all sorts, someone's dog getting lost in traffic or their van broke down, you wouldn't believe the excuses we've heard. But all I will say to you is be very paranoid, be super paranoid. Have it delivered at night to your house if you have to, because I'm telling you this, we have been let down through the years thousands of times and so have other people. My advice, get hold of it as quick as you possibly can. Be wary of those manufacturers that tell you their lead times are a lot shorter than the others. We've had it in the past where clients have rung up and said, someone online has got the same product, next day delivery. They place the order, guess what? They're just drop shipping and they have no idea what the lead time on the equipment is, and it usually means a refund or a big pain in the butt headache. Be paranoid with availability of stock, whether we're talking chillers, AHUs, split units, multi-split units or VRF units. Be paranoid. Point number 2, there is no all-in-one, one-fits-all solution when you stick with one manufacturer. I've tried it over the years where you try to stick with one or two. You will lose and you're selling products to people rather than people to products. Understand your market, understand your product range, understand the different manufacturers and find the right products for your customers. Sometimes it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. You know, for example, not all chiller units are suitable for all buildings. You have some buildings with low power consumption, which sometimes need bigger inverter screws or perhaps a turbo core with low starting loads. Trying to sell them a scroll chiller isn't going to work. And then on the contrary, trying to sell a certain manufacturer to someone's residential home where they have a certain colour of wall, you might want to fit a fancy coloured grey or brownish looking unit which is done by a separate manufacturer. If you're sticking with one or two, you're trying to fit that solution with them and you're not really giving your customers the best options. Point number 3, and it's my favourite one. The bigger the manufacturer does not mean the better the service. If you're perhaps a smaller company, you're probably going to suffer with the smaller manufacturers. So you might want to go for a distributor. If you do go for a smaller manufacturer, you may get better service, but it doesn't mean the product will be better. For me, the top 4, they seem to be my friends with HVAC, and the reason for that is if we do suffer with a lack of service from big manufacturers, because they all go in dribs and drabs, ups and downs, you will find someone out there which will have the answer. Unfortunately, with some of the smaller units, you do suffer with a lack of service because there's a lack of people that have worked on their equipment. Point number 4. They all give the best discount. All these HVAC manufacturers, when you speak to them, best discount, my friend. Best discount, my friend. No way, Jose. We've had multiple times where we've ordered air conditioning units, chillers, AHUs, like for like. Sometimes you've got over 100% difference in costs. Why is that? 1, if they think you're in a bit of a rush with a time constraint, add a 0. Number 2, if they think they're involved with a project from the start, add a 0. And number 3, if they think you're silly enough to pay these prices because they're giving you this all of a sudden service, add a 0. Just because you're getting the better service, do not think you're getting the better price. Price is not everything, but just be wary that when you do speak to these HVAC manufacturers, they are always going to give you their best price. On point number 4, with the best price, if you wanted to ask me for advice, I would say just do your research. Find your niche, find your products, build the relationships, and just don't trust anyone. Trusting everyone, and as I like to say, loyalty pays a price, does mean you will pay a price. So don't be afraid to open up new accounts because you probably get a good price. I hope that works for you. Point number 5, on the paranoid front here. The newer units do not mean they are the best. There are a handful of units, air conditioning units, I could probably name 5, and I'm not going to, where new products have been brought out and they've been discontinued after 2 to 3 years. 1, because there might have been a flop in sales, or 2, because there was a fundamental issue with them. Looking at the commercial side, VRVs, VRF, chillers, AHUs, same again. Products have been brought out to the market and they've been hushed behind closed doors and then discontinued or modified and repackaged as a new brand or a new product, not just because of technology or because of the market, just because it sucked. So just be a bit wary for that. At the moment, there's a lot of changes with refrigerants, trying to hit net zero and GW targets and lower GWP. The lower the GWP, yes, it might be a good solution, but as an example, some of this low GWP refrigerant does mean that components do need replacing a lot quicker. So people need to be very up to date with maintenance schedules. For example, R1234ZE, fantastic low GWP refrigerant, used in a lot of chillers, works at quite high compression, which means their compressors do need a refurb or a rebuild a lot quicker. Just be a bit mindful. Does it mean it's the best solution? Well, something that needs less maintenance, which is really eco-friendly, versus something which needs a little bit less maintenance, which is still eco-friendly, you'd always go for point 2 because that you want low GWP and you want low maintenance costs. So just be wary. If a product has been out for some time, you've got trust in that product, but just be a bit wary that with the way things are going, the worse the GWP or the higher the GWP, the more chance that it will be discontinued because of that factor. However, the older the unit, if the GWP is higher, but the reliability and the maintenance costs are lower, depends on the building, really. If you're looking in your house, use an R410A product, because an R410A product, which is tried and tested for 7 to 8 years, you will always go for over a R290, which seems to be the creeping assassin at the moment. Propane units in our houses, but that's another video that we'll talk about in the near future, because that is what's coming. Propane. Thank you very much for listening. Top 5 things the HVAC manufacturers don't tell you. Like and subscribe and look out for the next helpful video.